League on Sportsnet.
The start of a three-game California swing for the Maple Leafs. Kasha putting it in front, scores! Backhand goal by Alex Kerfoot. Ford invade the King zone in front, scores! Pierre Engvall on a sweet pass from Wayne Simmons. Nylander scores! And the Leafs have a 3-1 lead. Matthews, Tavares together, front scores! Austin Matthews! Jason Svensson tees it up, scores! And the Leafs have 5!
Oh my God, that was so nasty. I had the best angle you could possibly have right here.
They win this one 6-2 in Los Angeles.
Everybody, welcome in. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us. Elliot Friedman, Anthony Stewart, and David Amber. The Leafs on an epic 12-2 run over their last 14 games. A perfect 2-0 on this road trip. And Stewie, a big part of that, their captain, John Tavares, healthy and productive.
Yes, he's been leading this Toronto Maple Leafs team in both goals and points this year. He's got 9 goals, 2 on the power play. And what's great about him is that he's just going to the net, simple hockey. The Toronto Maple Leafs have been sort of guilty of this last year, trying to be too fancy. But here he is, just going to the net, tipping in these goals, going to the dirty area. So far, this year, for the Maple Leafs has been attributed to the play of John Tavares.
Best news coming out of the game the other night is that David Kampf is going to be playing. He got hurt in the game against Los Angeles, was taken out for precautionary reasons, and Toronto simply has been a better team with him in the lineup this year. And you know, I was concerned when I saw this, especially when I heard precautionary. You always wonder what's that going to mean. This is, you know, injuries to the head area. We have no idea where these can go in the days after they occur. But fortunately, he's able to go back tonight. And I just think that when he's in there, it's just calmer. People are in their proper roles, especially down the middle. They're better.
Yeah, their defense has been tight all year. Their offense exploded, of course, against LA with those 6 goals. We're going to have Chris Cuthbert as well as Craig Simpson. They will have the call for you. The Sharks, again, finishing up a 4-game homestand. And they're also on a 2-game winning streak, playing pretty well. We're going to get you out, though, to SAP Center to start things out. Leafs ringside host Sean McKenzie to set the scene. Sharks and Leafs for the second time this year, Sean.
Yeah, David, and it's been an eventful road trip so far for the Maple Leafs. It started with Joe Woll picking up his first career NHL shutout and then a dominant victory over the LA Kings. It's been fun for the Leafs, but don't take my word for it. Why don't you listen in for yourself?
What a screen, Rich! Oh my God, that was so nasty.
Yeah, winning is very fun, and it makes a fun atmosphere on the room.
The Leafs are having fun on the ice, but off the ice, it has been all business. No days off here in California, and that's by design. There has been no trips to Napa Valley, no popping bottles at One Oak, but that is perfectly fine with Morgan Rielly. Here's what he had to say about the last few days, saying to win games and have that feeling in the room afterwards is plenty more enjoyable than anything you are going to do with your spare time. Tonight, the Maple Leafs will try to get that feeling going again. It is Joe Woll versus James Reimer, and we get you set for puck drop in just a few moments. But first, the national anthems. Enjoy the game, everyone.
And at this time, we'd like to ask that you please stand and remove your caps and join Melissa Gialdini in the singing of "O Canada" and the Star Spangled Banner.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, so can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Melissa Giardini.
It's a late night Black Friday special as the Leafs vie for their 6th consecutive road victory as they invade the SAP Center in San Jose for a showdown against the Sharks. Here are the starting goaltenders for tonight's game. There's Joseph Woll coming off a 20-save shutout Sunday on Long Island. The 23-year-old now 2-0. He has stopped 43 of 47 so far. And at the other end, former Leaf James Reimer goes for the Sharks. His 5th start in 6. Enjoying a terrific start to the season. He ranks 7th in goals against and 6th in save percentage in the NHL. And Craig, both teams coming off morale-boosting wins when they both scored 6 goals in their last game and 6 different scores for both teams.
Yeah, it's one of those real positive feelings for both coaches coming into this game. And for the Maple Leafs, halfway through already this 4-game road trip, you've been perfect to this point. This is a really critical one to keep the good things rolling here through California.
John Tavares starts along with William Nylander, and Alex Kerfoot's playing in his 300th NHL game tonight. Noah Gregor goes to work for the Sharks, bodied off the puck by Morgan Riley. It'll be kept in by Hurdle, who swung that wide of the net. On the near side, Kerfoot tries to clear it. Here's Hurdle after it again. Hurdle always seems to play well against the Leafs. 6 goals in 11 previous games. And center now, Tavares. It's William Nylander in, scores! Bumps a slump. Nylander with his first at 8. 32 seconds in.
Well, how about that for keeping the good feeling and mojo going? And this play is an amazing one by John Tavares, knowing exactly where number 88 is behind him. A turnover right in front of the net. Morgan Riley trying to sift his way through. Watch this little touch pass as he loses the puck, but Tavares, knowing that he's got to his right, Nylander, and this is just a quick, active move by Nylander. Watch how far he pulls the puck across. Reimer tried to outstretch that right pad. Good patience by Nylander. He got his speed up there so he could make a quick play at the net, and he took it 4 feet across the crease and slid it in the wide open net.
5th goal on the road for Nylander, now in just over 8 games away from Scotiabank. And the Leafs, who are trying to be more offensive right from the get-go, go back to work here. First period goal scoring not been as proficient as it was a year ago. But they're on the board first. And they're 9-1 when scoring the opening goal so far this year. Here's Marner back in with Matthews. Over the line they come. That's broken up, and the Sharks will start back the other way. Bolser's unable to get it deep as it hit Matthews, and both teams start to change. Timothy Liljegren and Rasmus Sandin on the back end. Leafs don't make any changes defensively here tonight. Good to see David Kampf back in the lineup after playing just 10 seconds of that game in Los Angeles. A high stick from Wayne Simmons, but played by the Sharks first, so we play on here. Sandin lost it. Cogliano nearly got away, but now Nick Ritchie starts back. 3 shots on goal against the Kings, and Reimer had a little trouble with that, and after the whistle, it's knocked in, and that will cause a ruckus in behind the San Jose net.
Yeah, and Ritchie getting right in there is go till you hear the whistle. They'll hit the whistle. It's just gone as Reimer had a hard time with this one, and you know this line is going to bring a little physicality as a new look lineup as Ritchie and Simmons getting a chance to play with David Kampf with Kasha out of the lineup. I see an arm going up there.
Yeah, Ritchie got an extra shot on Weatherby that might be the ticket to the penalty box. We'll find out.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of this in Maple Leaf games where, especially early on, you get a little bit of after whistle play. I think you're both going to go here as the officials not taking one, but taking both. Reimer didn't quite know where it was. Ritchie just gave a little pop, and then he gets popped by Weatherby, and now you get everybody in. You know Simmons is going to grab a few people in the pile, and Ritchie's on a 1-on-3 until Kampf able to try to come and help him out. So a little bit of more open ice. Here's the goal again. It's just the amazing play in the neutral zone is, you know, Tavares does an excellent job of making that play, but the end result for Nylander is great patience. Knowing that he's there, just not even making a pass, just tapping it back in to make sure it's not offside, and Nylander made Reimer play the puck aggressively. He tried to get the pad out and unable to get the outstretched stick of Nylander by him.
So it's just like going shopping earlier today. It gets rough and the elbows are up early.
You got to get your position in there for sure. Got a red light special early for Nylander, as you mentioned. You know, one guy who's been playing really well, but maybe getting a little bit frustrated as he hadn't scored in those 7, and here early on, that always goes to your legs, Chris. You feel great after an early goal, and you got so much of the game left to try to get some more.
Not many early goals for him. 6 of his previous 7 scored in the second period or beyond. Here comes Riley over the line. Nylander's got it again, dangling into the slot. And now dishing it off. Munson fired, and that grazed the crossbar off Reimer, who's under siege early. Back the other way, Vlasic ahead. Here is, Barabanov to Carlson. Now it's Couture and Burns. 4 skaters aside, in front, Barabanov backhand and a weakened wide. As the former Leaf gets his first start against Toronto, and now heads off after that chance. Nylander flips it ahead. Matthews trying to skate onto that. An area pass for Nylander over the line. He'll wrap it around to Matthews, who scored his first even strength goal in 10 games against the Kings on Wednesday. All with the headman pass, and now it's Marner and Matthews to work. Over the line they come. The pass for Matthews didn't get there. And now up ahead, Timo Meier will get things organized to get it back from Burns. Under a half minute remaining, 4-on-4. Sharks have scored 3 goals, 4-on-4. There's a shot off the left flank that Wall handles. Engvall pushing it ahead. Gets it back from Marner. Here Engvall coming off his first ever multi-point game, a goal and an assist against Los Angeles. Rasmus Sandin had 3 helpers in that game. Onto the right side, into the skates of Spezza. It'll come back to Sandin. Weatherby out of the box, and Sandin knocked down there, but the Leafs recovered a lead feed for Kirill Semyonov, who's in the lineup tonight in place of Ondrej Kase. Back the other way, it's Nick Bonino flipping it in along with another veteran, Andrew Cogliano. A couple of former Anaheim Ducks. And Bonino coming off his first goal as a member of the Sharks. That went off the end boards to the side of the net. Jam play there by Bonino. He gets it back again. Feeds the point to Erik Karlsson. Lost the handle on that. And Spezza out with Semyonov. Tried to flip it in past Carlson, broke it up. And a quick counter for Bonino. Hit along the boards by Muzzin. Gregor along the board, sidestepped the hit from Simmons. Here's Bonino scores! Back-to-back games, Nick Bonino on the board for San Jose.
Chris, you saw Semyonov going dejected to the bench. He was the last one on that line, out on the ice with the puck, and instead of getting it deep at the end of a shift, he puts it right into the breadbasket for Carlson. There's the quick transition back up. Now you've got to reset defensively as you've got a mixed up line, a couple of lost battles, and then Bonino, boy, you know, you always say you finally break the dam and all of a sudden it opens right up. The last game, his teammates were so excited about his first goal as a San Jose Shark in 19 games, and here early on he's got his second in less than a period.
What a sigh of relief it was for Bonino in the 6-3 win against the Ottawa Senators. Again, they had 6 different goal scorers, scored the last 4 goals of that game. The Leafs ride a 4-goal second period to beat Los Angeles. Now Ritchie's got it at center, looking for Simmons. It'll come back to Ritchie. Hands it off for Camp. In front, scores! Simmons in front of the net, and the Leafs with a quick response.
Oh, another guy who's just been all around the net the last 3 or 4 games. He had a great game in Los Angeles with a pair of assists, but has been frustrated trying to get one in the back of the net. And here, just going to the front, 17 games for him. It's batted down just inside the line, and there's another example of just getting the puck to the net with bodies in front. And Simmons able to get just a piece of that. Reimer thinks it's coming into his body. Simmons deflects it up and over his glove. And what a start to this game. You mentioned the floodgate of goals for both of these teams. It looks like that kind of game here on a late Friday night. Wide open.
32 seconds after the tying goal by Bonino. Wayne Simmons has his second of the year. And the guy that's been all around it, as you mentioned, for the last few games, Sheldon Keefe talked about Wayne Simmons deserving more ice time. This is the way he has played. And we've got a penalty upcoming, and it's a slashing call.
As a world champion, I prepare to win. I still do today. Every game starts at bet99.net.
Kerfoot in the box, and the Sharks go to the power play.
Yeah, the ups and downs and momentum swings. The very early goal by Toronto. Good response by the Sharks. Great response effort getting back and making it a 2-1 game. And now the penalty kill starts early.
Sharks 17th on the power play. That shot knocked down in front. And comes back to Brent Burns at the line. Picked off by Marner, trying to clear it. And he does play it past Timo Meier and out.
You know, the last game was 2 power play goals on 3 attempts for the Los Angeles Kings, and that's just something we haven't seen. The Leafs penalty kill has been so dominant, had gone 8 games without allowing a goal prior to that one.
Leafs now 8 on the kill, a pass in front, and unable to take it cleanly was Couture, who had 2 goals, 3 points, and was +4 in the first meeting of the year between these two teams. A 5-3 Shark win on October the 22nd. Muzzin pins his man. It's played back to the line for Burns. 1 career goal against Toronto. That shot hit a leg. Gregor moves up. The former Moose Jaw Warrior. Rink wide it goes. Kick back to Burns. Hit shot off target with Bonino parked in front. Now Meier lost the handle. David Camp out with it, and Muzzin will send it down the ice.
Well, a good chance here for Joseph Woll to just settle himself back in. And you know, that quick shot by Bonino, he didn't pick up through the crowd. It went through the 5-hole, but here with an early penalty kill against, he's just settling his game down and making sure he can track the puck on this penalty kill.
Half-minute remaining in the Kerfoot penalty, and TJ Brodie sends it 200 feet. Erik Karlsson back to get it. Another point for Karlsson against Toronto. Now 39 points in 41 career games for the blue liner, the former Ottawa Senator. Trying to get that one across, but Nylander is there. Nylander and Engvall, 2-on-1 across. The play called on an offside at the line that negates a Leaf scoring chance.
Boy, Nylander again with the puck. He did a great job just battling for this one at the line. You be the judge. Hard to tell there. Oh boy, I think that's okay. I think his skate is up in the air. That looks to me like that should have been onside and would have created a good 2-on-1 chance. Might have been a tap in there for Engvall.
But the whistle, the whistle negates play. You can't go back and review that, unfortunately for Toronto. Now Michael Bunting to work. Leafs back at full strength. Bunting puts it on goal. Mario Ferraro, the King City product, sends it ahead, and it's down into the Leaf zone. Kerfoot back there along with Bunting. Across for Timothy Liljegren, rink wide, but Kerfoot headed to the bench.
Smart play there by Marner, though, seeing that puck was coming and didn't jump over and get himself involved in the play. It might have been a too-many men.
Liljegren taps at it, and it's chopped by Bunting, not out. And the burn shot right over the screen here and into the seats. Well, a wild start as we have 3 goals in the opening 5:16. And the Leafs with an early 2-1 lead. They're strange. This is the last 4 appearances, and they have not added up to even 60 minutes because of relief jobs or being chased or an injury in the case of the David Ayres game. But the bottom line tells you that it hasn't been good going against the old team in recent games.
Well, he's made it 8-21 here, and he's let in another 2, so it hasn't been a great start. Always difficult going against your former foes.
All those games in Toronto, he called it an Air Canada jinx this morning, an Air Canada Center jinx.
Or a Scotiabank heist, no?
Yeah, I don't think he's been to Scotiabank.
No, I don't.
There's Kerfoot back in. Puts on the brakes as he was watched by Carlson. Muzzin walks in. Backhand. Chopped at by Nylander. As that backhand by Muzzin didn't get to the net. Nylander walks in front and just missed. As he was allowed to improve his shooting angle. Got it again. And Reimer's going to hold on to that. William Nylander is styling early.
Well, the puck's following him around, isn't it? And you could see early on the Leafs D really adding in and jumping up and trying to keep play alive here as Muzzin comes in with the backhander. You got a bouncing puck that Nylander almost got his short side chance. Now you win the puck battle down low, and this is one he'd like to have back. He was trying to go far side over the glove. Reimer trying to hug that post and not give anything short side, and he was just a little high wide on that one.
Battle in the corner, Bunting in the midst of it. The puck comes loose for Kevin Labanc. Now pass across. TJ Brodie there defensively. Couture keeps it in, takes the shot. That hit Meier in front and bounced over the net. An outlet here, Bunting unable to reach that. Timo Meier back on it. 3-point game against the Ottawa Senators. He has points in 11 of 14. So Meier's been maybe the best player for the Sharks so far this year. That hit the ankle of Riley, and he's on the limp.
He's trying to get off, and he's got halfway. Now he's got to handle this.
Got to defend against Couture and stay out there as it comes across for Burns into the slot. Tipped right on. Wall to save. And this should buy time for Riley to hobble off to the Leaf bench.
A really good play by Michael Bunting, knowing that you've got Morgan Riley injured. He came down deep and was able to get that puck and allow Riley to get the change.
Gadjevich lost it. Trying to get it back, looks it down, and now works his way with Labanc over the line. Kevin Labanc, the former Barrie Cole, crashing in to Keith Sandin. Liljegren up with the puck. An outlet for Engvall. David Kampf takes a whack at it, but Bonino holds the zone. Now Sandin tries the right side. Spezza rink wide. That slip past Semyonov, but a quick counter here. Back in, Labanc in front. Gadget stopped by Wall. And a big stop there against Jonah Gadovich on the doorstep. So the Sharks pressing to tie it, and Gadovich with the chance. Wall to stop.
Been in warm-up, and they're definitely in sync. How is this for being in tune with each other? Perfect passes, too perfect. They collide. Well, if that didn't work, they must try it again. They regroup, they get back together, and here we go again. Let's see if this one works. Much better. Perfectly in sync. Two fun superstars, guys.
Finish every warm-up together. Last guy's off the ice. Easy flip on to Wall, and he'll hold on to that.
Yeah, I thought the first 3 games of the year, Mitch Marner looked like he had lost his best friend. He had no one to pass the puck to. He was circling around and throwing pucks to himself. But the last 2 minutes of warm-up, they literally do that the entire time. Sometimes off their skates, kicking them to each other. No look, backhand. It's just part of their pregame routine.
Camp wins a defensive zone face-off. Wayne Simmons flips it ahead. That's the 11th career goal for Simmons against San Jose. Hertl lost his stick. Here's Barabana. What a move! They slid it just wide. Well, that would have been highlight reel material against his whole team. Barabana with just an assist against the Leafs, or with the Leafs, and then went to San Jose and went on a little bit of a surge with 3 goals, 7 points in 9 games with the Sharks after the trade.
And it's gotten him more ice time here to start this year. He gets a little tap from an old teammate there, but he realizes he's got Wayne Simmons, not Muzzin. So he's a little bit more creative, a nice pull between the legs, and how about the hit at the end by Hall? I mean, if you're going to try to admire your play, you're going to take a hit, and Simmons saying, yeah, I'll get you next time. They haven't done much practicing back on the blue line there. That was a good read to know he had a forward there and attacked him hard.
Kept in by Sandin. Second time Sandin holds the zone, and now flipped away by Jacob Middleton.
On this road trip, and especially the last 2 games, you've seen Sandin and Liljegren get with Tavares a lot, trying to get him in offensive roles and more offensive situations as they continue to play a little bit more under Sheldon Keefe.
Nylander for Sandin. Backhand deep. Middleton there for the Sharks. Now played ahead. Too far for Gadovich. Back in is Nylander again. A good stick check there by Middleton. The former Ottawa 67. Jake Muzzin works his way ahead. Flipped in by Liljegren. After it goes bunting on the forecheck. Mario Ferraro playing it for Couture. Now Brent Burns around the boards, and Meyer will tip it out. Liljegren back in his own zone, gave it away. There's Meyer in front, sent it across out of the reach of Couture on an errant play there, and trouble still brewing, and finally the Leafs get control. I think Liljegren looking to get off the ice as he heads to the bench. For the Leafs without Morgan Riley here. Here's Matthews in front. Bunting can't play it down, fires it wide. So different pairings now without Morgan Riley, who has gone to the Leaf room. Myers sweeps it across. Weatherby ran into the referee there. And back the other way, Semyonov. Dumps it in, chips and chases. Reiner out of the net. And that hits Semyonov. Sharks able to recover it and play it outside the line. Glove down and put back in the Shark zone by Spezza. Semyonov works the corner. Tried to get it to Spezza. Denied there by Weatherby, and Middleton with a one-hander that went to Spezza, who played it for Brody, and the Leafs have to re-rack.
Chris, the hard part here in San Jose, you got to go all the way across the ice to go to the dressing room. So you can't even come midstream like you would be at most arenas. So Morgan Riley will have to see how long he's going to be out of action.
Liljegren back out with Sandin. And it's Rasmus Sandin turning away from the checking of veteran Andrew Cogliano. Liljegren advances and a long shoot in, and Reimer's going to hold on to that. But the blue line of the Leafs looking much different without their workhorse number 44. Here's what happens to him off the instep, and that hurt. Perhaps a shift after taking that puck off the skate, and this is a guy that they don't want to miss because he has been a workhorse. Number 2 in total ice time so far. Actually led coming into today's activity, and Brent Burns a workhorse on the other side.
24-15 a game in every single situation on the ice.
Leafs with a pair of goals in this first period, just the second time this season they've scored 2 in the opening frame. First time was Game 3 against Ottawa. Riley's got it, gave it away. Taken by Barabanov, kicked back to the line. Middleton plays that carom off the inboards, and Barabanov's on it again. Cycles it down for Tomas Hertl. Hertl looking to center, denied by Riley. Back to the line again. Middleton can't funnel that through to the net. Taken by Brody, and the Leafs are out. Morgan Riley to work. Plays it around to the far side. Barabanov kicks it back to his defenseman. And it's flipped to center by Carlson. Gloved down by Hall. Here's Justin Hall in. Attacking the net. Reimer with the stop. On a strong play by Hall, who corkscrewed into the ice at the end of that. Leafs are on it, and it's dropped back to Hall. Still looking for his first point of the year. Let's flip past him. I don't know if he hurt himself there. Wall puts it over the glass. It's going to be a penalty against the Leafs, and the Sharks go back on the power play.
Molson Canadian Leafs hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. Our beer. Hockey's beer.
All it takes is a moment of indecision, and all of a sudden now you're a little panicked, and with just a quick delay there by Wall, and now he's got some pressure coming in on him and didn't get the shot he wanted. Knew he had to clear it, and it was one of those plays that you try to react as quickly as you could, and it just got away from him there, and you see his focus trying to get redialed in for this penalty.
For the second power play of the night, Bunting will serve the penalty. Sharks didn't generate a shot on goal with their first. It'll come around to Carlson. Carlson and Burns man the points. It was split up earlier this year on the power play, but Bob Booker has them back together. Burns will kick it back. Over the line they come. Myers sends it in wide of the net. First one to it, Kerfoot. Hall trying to catch up to that, but met there by Couture. Now back around for Carlson. Burns at the line with that big shot. If he can get it away, there it is, and that one cuts down Kerfoot. That goes off his ankle, and he was hobbled a bit, and he'll make his way to the Leaf bench.
Yeah, it's one of those plays. You're in the shooting lane. You know behind you the goaltender can't see it, and credit to Kerfoot, he's stuck in there, but that one stung right near the knee, it looked like.
Starts to move it back in. It's Mario Ferraro on the prowl. Bodied there by Riley, and the Leafs get a clear from TJ Brody.
What a play by Riley, though. He absorbed the hit, but he kept one hand on his stick, and he just pushed the puck to a free area so his partner could come grab it and get it down the ice. Really well played defensively by Morgan Riley.
Semyonov out on the kill along with David Kemp. LeBanc missed the pass. Around it goes for Brody, and off the boards and back down.
I like there again is pressuring the entry. 3 Maple Leafs attacked on the puck there, created the turnover, and that allowed the easy clear.
Kevin LeBanc in. Pass for Barabanov doesn't work. Matthew steers it out. Bunting, who was serving the penalty, back out. And the Sharks 0 for 2. The Leafs have not allowed a shot on goal. Short-handed. Here's Mitch Marner over the line. Got Muzzin firing into that whistle. Maybe grazed the glove of Reimer as it went wide. Matt Nieto across for Burns. Broken up by Muzzin. Burns gets it back again. Unable to thread that through for Nieto. Stepping up is Bonino. And that's an offside. San Jose at the Leaf line.
We mentioned how proficient the penalty killing had been. They were 16 of 16 until a little bit of a stumble in Los Angeles, but this is what they've done so well. You just attack, you end up outmanning your opponent, even though you're down a man. They had a 3-on-1 there at one point and able to clear the zone easily. That aggressiveness has really served this penalty killing unit well over the last 10, 15 games.
Nylander feeds it ahead. There's Kerfoot, so no ill effects from the shot block off his ankle. As he dashes down in the San Jose zone, Tavares plays it back to the line. It'll be Liljegren for Kerfoot. Finds Sandin on this near side. Up high is Nylander. That shot hit a leg and goes to the boards and flipped away by Couture. Kerfoot on it again. A goal in Los Angeles, has never scored against the San Jose Sharks. Hits to the bench on a change, and out comes Wayne Simmons, along with Nick Ritchie, who gets an assist on the Simmons goal.
Left to play in the period.
Final minute, opening period. Joseph Woll out to play that. Liljegren to the far side, out of the reach of Riley, but here come the Leafs through center. Ritchie over the line, good stick by Burns. And back the other way, Weatherby stumbled, a little toe pick at the Leaf line, negating a promising rush. Here's Ritchie, rolling it down into the Shark zone and giving chase. Burns a lead feed, and it's a break for Gregor. Gregor, and he sent that wide of the net. And that went up on the screen, so it's a couple of breaks in this first period that the Leafs have surrendered to a couple of the youngsters on that Shark team.
Well, it's a quick transition from a dump in that went to nobody. Gregor coming off the bench, and he gets lost behind the Leaf D, but a pretty good job pressuring down and keeping Gregor to the outside. There was Morgan Riley, and I think Gregor thought he would have an extra second or two and tried the quick shot glove side, and just a little high and wide.
Former Moose Jaw Warrior, who was with Braden Point under the direction of Coach Tim Hunter. And now Gregor trying to make his way in the NHL. The pass picked off by Bunting in the final 15 seconds. Middleton scoops it back out to center. Couture rink wide. One last dash by Barabanov, and that shot is blocked. And the whistle sounds with 2.4 remaining here in the first period.
Oh, pretty solid first period here. You mentioned the first period scoring. Last year, the Leafs scored more first period goals than anyone else, 1.1 goals per game in the first. Coming into tonight, there was 0.6, so it has been a point of discussion for Sheldon Keefe getting off to a little bit better start, and nothing like getting that first goal just to settle your game in, especially when you're on the road and you don't have the matchup.
No hurdle on this draw against Matthews, who wins it for the Leafs, and one done here in San Jose. William Nylander at the 32-second mark. Wayne Simmons also scoring for the Leafs. Nick Bonino for the Sharks. 2-1 after one. Our first intermission with David Amber, Elliot Friedman, Anthony Stewart coming up after this.
Sportsnet NHL Studios. Of course, we had William Nylander in the first minute scoring for the Leafs, and then Wayne Simmons a nice tip to give the Leafs a 2-1 lead after one. Elliot, Anthony, and David, great to have you along. Hard work all season long for Wayne Simmons, finally rewarded.
Yeah, Wayne Simmons has probably been the hardest working Maple Leaf this whole entire season. It's good to see him finally rewarded. And it starts off with getting engaged physically. This is a really, really tough road trip for the Eastern Conference teams to go to the West Coast, California. So you got to find a way to manufacture some energy. So the guys aren't really emotional here. They're just trying to get involved in the game, and Simmons is leading the charge with that. So what that does now, it creates time and space. And we know he's got the great hands and tipping pucks down, but this is where his bread and butter is, going to the net, tipping. So this is his 4th point in his last 5 games. It's good to see him rewarded because he's going to the net net, keeping it simple, and his personality is infectious for this Leafs team. He's been a great player this season for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, you're mentioning the Leafs. We've seen a bevy of these former Leafs playing against Toronto this year, and some of them had success, some of them haven't. We're not focusing on James Reimer, but Alexander Barabanov. What impression is he making on you?
Well, look, this was a guy who was a bit of a mystery man when he came last year, and because the situation with coming back from COVID, no exhibition games, he never really got his footing, and he was traded to San Jose. Well, he showed a flash here. Anthony, avert your eyes. Because it's Wayne Simmons. He recognizes Simmons is back playing D, and just a brilliant move. And I kind of looked at this and said, wow, that's kind of what they were hoping they would see in him when they had him last year. Dangerous player in the first period. Best news, though, for Toronto, Riley came back. That looked bad for a couple seconds.
Yeah, they took that shot off the instep. Again, 24-plus minutes leads the Leafs, but he's back on the ice, which is a good news. All right, you know what else is good news? Right in my hands here. Elliot hates this part of the show, which makes it my favorite part. It's the burning questions. We have some pretty good questions here. What's more likely? Let's start with this one with you, Elliot. Matthews, first 50-goal season, or Marner, first 100-point season? What's more likely?
Well, right now I'm going to say it's a big number. It's 83 points in 62 games, but I'm going to go with Marner simply because he's moving up and around the lineup. He always plays with a good scorer, and I just think that he's finding – I think he's trending upward. I think he's finding his way. I think he's in a good mental space, so I'm going to go with Marner.
I'm going to go with Matthews scoring 50 goals, and math is not my strong suit, so let me write it out. He's got 41 in 52 games last year. He has 8 in 19, so that means he needs 42 and 61. That's simple math, right? I think he gets it done.
All right, so you feel
like we need that GIF with the numbers.
So you think this could be it, the 50 goal? He's got some work to do, but if anyone could do it, we know 34 can get it done.
I'm more confused now than before you started.
Yeah, math is not my strong suit.
Which of the new Leafs has made the biggest impact? Let's start with you, Anthony.
Michael Bunting, and people are saying there can't really be a replacement for Zach Hyman, who went to the Edmonton Oilers, but his infectious attitude and his work ethic is really, really rubbing off on this Toronto Maple Leafs team. He has 5 goals this year. He's going up and down the lineup, but he brings energy, urgency, and he's probably one of the most hardest working Leafs on this team.
David Kampf, and the reason is quite simple, that last year, Sheldon Keefe felt that he needed to have Tavares or Matthews out there for a lot of D-zone draws. This year, he's very comfortable putting this guy out there. And for that reason, Matthews and Tavares can worry about offense. And to me, that's why he's made the biggest impact of all the newcomers.
And maybe shifting.
And that's why I am right.
Maybe shifting the identity of this team a little bit, too. Remember, they're one of the stingiest defensive teams, and he's been a big part of that. All right, name one player whose hot start deserves more recognition. Elliot.
Alexander Ovechkin. When we talk about MVPs in this league, we often start and end with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and I totally understand that. But what this guy is doing right now, 3 assists Wednesday against Montreal, 3 goals today against Florida. He's got 36 points. He's never had more than 112 points in the season. He's on a pace for 135. He has 18 assists this year. He had 18 last year and 19 the year before. He's having an unbelievable Hart Trophy start to the season.
It's got to be Nazem Kadri, and the knock on the Colorado Avalanche last year was the secondary scoring, and he's bringing primary scoring. He's got 25 points this year, 4th in the National Hockey League, and it's too early to talk about the Olympic chat, but I think the one chat that we can have is him knocking it out of the park on his next extension.
Secondary, is that anything like tertiary?
Yes. Okay. Quantuary is next.
Has Evander Kane, and remember, he's eligible to come back from that 21-game suspension Tuesday against the Devils. Has he played his last game for San Jose?
I say no. And the NHL is the league of second chances, and he brings offense, and that's something that the San Jose Sharks desperately need. They're 21st in goals for, and they're the bottom half with the power play. So he was the lead leaguer in both categories last year. I say he comes back and plays some productive hockey for the San Jose Sharks.
First of all, I think he probably starts in the American Hockey League. I think he'll go down there either on waivers or in a conditioning stint just to get his game going. But what if, David, some team says, look, we'd like to see Evander Kane play for you before we think about acquiring him? Then my answer is yes, he will play games for San Jose.
Interesting storyline to keep an eye on. I'm sure you'll have more in headlines tomorrow night, or maybe tonight, I should say. It's past midnight here on the East Coast. Straight ahead, more chaos for the Canucks. We're going to show you how their night in Columbus went. Here's a hint, it didn't go well. We'll also hear from Erik Karlsson, who's with Sean McKenzie. You're watching the Leafs on Sportsnet. AP Center, 2-time Norris Trophy winner Erik Karlsson standing by with our Sean McKenzie. Sean.
Erik, after giving up a goal so early in the game, how do you guys calm things down and respond the way you did?
No, I think we stuck with it. They're a good team. I think we started the first shift real well, and the goal, that's going to happen sometimes, a misread here and there. We stuck with it. Unfortunately, they came right back and scored, the 2-1 goal there, but I don't think that it changed our game, and that's the way we got to keep it for the rest of the 2 periods here.
It seemed to be a fast-paced, wide-open period. With your style of play, how much do you enjoy when there's some space to run and gun?
I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's run and gun, but they're a good team. They try and play hockey out there. They play a good style of game, I think, and we're doing as good a job as we can to eliminate their rush chances, and they're going to create their own stuff. They're a good team, so we're just going to stick with it. I think we had our fair chance of scoring chances as well, so hopefully we can put a couple in.
Eric, as always, thanks for the time.
Thank you. You look good too.
You too.
Wish I was wearing my shirt.
You gotta love Erik Karlsson. Canucks and Blue Jackets. 2-1 Blue Jackets on top. Tyler Mott redirects it in front. First of the year, we're tied at 2. Remember, Canucks in a world of hurt right now. They were out shooting Columbus all game long. Didn't matter though. Jack Roslovic there, a screen Demko he beats. Canucks lose their 5th in a row on the road, 4-2. They outshot them 41-21. They play Sunday in Boston.
Hashtag Canucks.
Yeah, ouch. Canadians and Sabres, 2-1 Sabres on top. Kyle Oposo, he's been very good this year. That's his 6th of the year, beat Sam Montembeault, 3-1 Sabres. Check out this hit. You guys will like this. Alexander Romanov, the big hit coming up. The dominoes right there on Tage Thompson.
Big man, Team Thompson.
Now he gets up and buries his 10th of the year, 2nd of the game, then stares down Romanov. Montreal loses again 4-1 the final.
All of the attention's on Vancouver, but what are you going to do in Montreal right now?
Oh, meanwhile, the Leafs, they keep rolling 2-1 after 20 minutes. Second period with Chris, Craig, and Sean is next. We will see you after the second period. Molson Canadian, Leafs Hockey.
Over the Sharks as we get you set for the beginning of the second period. Rep Our Home is brought to you by Molson Canadian, our beer, hockey's beer. Tonight is NHL game number 1100 for Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and every single one of those games coming in the jersey of the San Jose Sharks. He was drafted in 2005 from the Quebec Ramparts, only playing 1 game in the minors before going on to have such a tremendous NHL career. A member of Team Canada 4 times, including the 2014 Winter Olympics, and the man that they call Pickles also has a soft spot for rescue animals, just one of the main reasons why he is such a fan favorite here in San Jose. Guys.
One of the mainstays for sure. Something about this date in history. 1100 for Vlasic. Back in 1961, Gordie Howe, the first man to play 1,000 games in the National Hockey League. And on this date, former Shark Patrick Marleau, as a member of the Leafs, played game number 1600. So a milestone night. And there's Jason Spezza, who will have one of his own. Number 1200 in his vintage career will be against Anaheim on Sunday.
And in a league that is made up of so many great young players, it's still really great to see some of the old veterans who are playing significant roles for their teams. That man has fit the role well. He was even talking the other day with Spezza about understanding when you're not in a prominent offensive role, how you have to handle when things don't go well. And, to his credit, he got a big goal in Los Angeles and continues to find a way to contribute each night for Toronto.
So the Leafs take a 2-1 lead into the second period. William Nylander had a goal, and he led the Leafs with 3 shots in the opening frame. 10-8 the shots on goal for Toronto. Let the Sharks go to work here. Comes across for Middleton. That one denied by Nylander. Brody an outlet too far, and Karlsson broke his stick on that. It'll be Barabanov as Karlsson quickly retrieves and goes right back into the play with Middleton dumping it down behind the net. Tomas Hertl up front for San Jose, and Leafs having trouble getting out of their own zone to start the second. Now they advance, and here's Matthews out there as he'll spin it down into the San Jose zone. Austin Matthews looking to score back-to-back games for the first time this year. There's Meyer looking rink wide. He had 3 of the 8 shots for the Sharks in period number 1. Rudolph Balcers is out there, but it's Jake Muzzin with time and room to hit the tape of Matthews. Here come the Leafs. Austin Matthews across, and that pass was cut off. What a good defensive play by Couture, taken away, and Bunting kicked away by Reimer. Michael Bunting with a chance on a steal by Marner, and Matthews back in again. Great stick by Austin Matthews, and then he'll overskeet the puck, and Sharks end up coming up with it, and over the line is Meyer, and that's into the glove of Wall, and he's going to hold on.
Well, you heard Elliott talking about Mitch Marner and his play taking an uptick. I really felt even on this road trip, he didn't get any points in LA, but he did a lot of this. He won those little stick battles, and a good stick turns the puck over, gives a chance to Bunting. Bunting had to try to control that and turn his body quickly to get a shot away, and as players often do, he's right there on the bench looking at what happened and where that shot ended up going.
Leafs win a defensive zone face-off, and it's out to Ritchie and center ice. He'll be up against his old team on Sunday at the Honda Center when the Leafs meet the rejuvenated Anaheim Duck team.
Well, that puck bounced up. I wanted to hit the net. No whistle and continue to play. But yeah, it looked like it hit something on the dasher on the boards at top and then went up high.
Puck into the San Jose bench, and gives us a chance to tell you that Alex Kerfoot has not returned for the second period. So he took that shot off the ankle or foot in the late stages of the first period. Fourth line tonight, centered by Semyonov as Spezza moves to the wing along with Engvall. And TJ Brody dispatches it into Shark ice, and again, Leafs have to tag up on a delayed offside. Classic up off the boards. Nieto jostled there by Semyonov, so they'll try the other side. And a quick touch pass, and here's Weatherby over the line. Weatherby across in front. Morgan Riley came back to knock that away, and now Riley will lead the rush and red line and in for Toronto.
There's those important minutes there as Riley uses his legs effectively offensively so often, but there defensively. And Chris Kerfoot is back. He is on the bench, and he's back out there, so that's good news for the Maple Leafs as well.
So that's a couple that needed a little extra attention, but are back, so good news for the Leafs as Kerfoot gets it to Nylander. Back to Muzzin, his shot knocked down in front. Fronted there by Middleton. Nylander at center had some difficulty with it, but moves it to Muzzin. And Kerfoot will try and catch up to that and play it down into the Shark zone. It's a big second period in Los Angeles when the Leafs scored 4. Noah Gregor rolls it in. After it goes Tomas Hertl, a former 30-goal scorer. John Tavares at center. That goes off Ferraro, and Ferraro tried to sweep it out. Now it's played ahead. The pass for Balcers doesn't work. Liljegren fires it right back into Shark ice. Bunting around to the near side for Liljegren. In deep it goes for Bunting. Michael Bunting working along the boards. He's checked, but Marner keeps it alive at the line. Mitch Marner with 14 points in the month of November. Bunting. Now for Matthews in behind the net. He wins a battle against Ferraro. Matthews stays on it, gets it to Marner. Marner for Matthews, and didn't get all of that, and it went wide. Kicked back to the San Ramon, California native, Austin Matthews. Now for Sandin, across Liljegren, shooting, loose puck, scores! Matthews has scored in back-to-back, and the Leafs lead 3-1.
This shift is all about puck possession. The Maple Leafs lead the National Hockey League in offensive zone puck possession time. And one thing that Sheldon Keefe was saying that too often they were only getting one chance and gone. Here they had a couple of chances, and then they showed great patience. Puck movement and then attack the net. 3 Maple Leafs in front of the net on 2 defenders. Matthews couldn't get the one-timer, got inside position, stopped up, directing traffic, and then gets inside there on Ferraro. And you could see the reaction by James Reimer. He knew he made the save, couldn't control the rebound, and a tap-in goal from Matthews off of some good hard work on the outside to keep that play alive.
Born about a half-hour drive away from SAP Center, but only lived there for a couple of months before the Matthews family moved to Arizona. Does like playing here, though. He has now scored 9 goals in 9 career games against San Jose, and we've got a penalty coming up against Toronto, and I'm going to check Timo Meier on a high stick that will send Nick Ritchie to the box.
Toronto number 20, minor penalty, high stick.
Again, the momentum swings in this game. We've seen it. You just start reaching, and then the stick at the end there flew up right at the end. Yeah, he was okay, but instead of just pulling his stick down, he kind of knew it was caught up, tried to pull it away and got it up a little too high.
27 seconds of the second period.
So the Sharks to their third power play, one of their last 15 with the man advantage. David Kemp able to prevail on that draw. And Marner, a backhand clearing attempt, looked down at the line. Kept in there by Couture. Now it's Bonino. And that's pass back to the left point. Brings them out to center ice, and Timo Meier will re-rack there.
Scored by 34 Matthews from 58 Bunting and 37 Liljegren at 4:57.
Bunting and Liljegren draw assists on the Matthews goal. Flipped in by Hurdle. All low, able to send that back into Shark territory.
Really good patience there by Hall. Instead of panicking and throwing it up the boards where the Sharks were anticipating, he took an extra second, took a quick look, and threw the puck up to the cleared zone.
There's one, the back pass that leads to a breakaway. Kerfoot and Reimer down and Spall to make the save. On a Kerfoot breakaway shorthanded after Nylander intercepted that slingshot pass. Carlson in deep for Bonino. Big save by Reimer there, and now the power play back in the lead zone. Carlson, LeBanc across, wall to stop, loose in front, and flipped high with Bonino parked on the doorstep. Comes across again, and that shot rejected off the stick of Meier, blocked by Morgan Riley.
Yeah, I think it was the same foot that Riley got hit on as well, and he's a little bit uncomfortable on the bench there after making another block.
Here's Kevin LeBanc, the former Barrie Colt, dashing in, fanned on that, and David Kemp with a clear.
Now you see what the importance of a good penalty kill does. You know, it just takes the momentum right back. You score the goal, you got control of the game. Now all of a sudden San Jose with the power play, but it's been the penalty kill that's been most effective.
Here's Gregory, and he sent that wide. That's 2 looks in tight for Noah Gregor, and Ritchie back on the ice. Middleton, or Weatherby, excuse me, deflecting that wide of the net, and here's Ritchie ahead for Engvall. Leafs PK 3 for 3 on the night. Burns gets it back, gave it away. John Tavares intercepts. Bunting plays it in behind the net. Matthews out there along with Tavares after the kill. Matt Nieto off the boards, and Bunting jostling there at center ice with Weatherby. And the Leafs get the puck and headman it to Matthews. Tavares with it. Trying to get it across for Bunting on the left wing. Tied up there by Vlasic. Ferraro, part of that gold medal world championship team for Team Canada. Now he has to play defense against Matthews, who couldn't get a shot through, and Balser up on the left side was looking for Gadjevich. Broken up there by Liljegren. Jason Spezza, now Sandin over the line. Here comes Matthews again. His shot whistled just wide of the net. And boomerangs back into the lead zone. Approaching the 9-minute mark of the second period here. And no evidence of tryptophan after the turkey dinner last night. We've got a penalty coming up against San Jose, so the Leafs 3 for 3 on the kill, and now go to the power play.
Well, Leafs have one shorthanded goal this year. Here's a chance for a second. Kerfoot does the similar type of deke, but he gets to his forehand, isn't able to get it up and over the pad of a sprawling James Reimer. Here is just a little pick of Spezza's going in to get after the puck, and instead his path is impeded by Vlasic, so you got a penalty killer in the box, and first opportunity for this power play to get something going. A little chat before the face-off here to know exactly what they want to do if Tavares can snap this one back.
Scored a power play goal in Los Angeles. 0 for 2 against San Jose back in Toronto in October. Marner, and he sent that across with Nylander and Tavares in front, but no tip. And they have to go back to get it.
Yeah, that one looked like it went right through the legs of Tavares. It was almost a blind play for him, almost a shot pass by Marner, just trying to hit him.
Kick back to Marner. He is in onto the left side for Tavares. Riley. Matthews. Morgan Riley talked about shooting more. Gets that to the net. Talked about overshooting this morning. And having that mentality, getting it to the net. Tavares with a shot block. Mario Ferraro, the leading shot blocker in the league, with a clutch shot block there. Matthews now and Riley at the line. Here's Matthews across. Nylander whipped it wide. Got a good look. Quick puck movement. Nylander again. Marner. Nylander chopping that right into the crease and off the post as Tavares took a whack at it. A lot of things happening on this power play, and trying to break through and come back to Marner. In front. Tip. Loose puck. Nylander missed the target. Boy, that's 3 or 4 chances. And it's Riley again with still over a half minute remaining. Marner, Matthews, slot tip, Nylander put it wide. It's loose in front again, Nylander. Tavares scores! Power play goal for the Leafs, and it's 4-1.
Well, that little discussion before the face-off led to that entire time in the offensive zone. You talk about a power play with a purpose. Good intensity, really quick, good support and puck movement, all kinds of opportunities that were a close call, and John Tavares has just been able to make a living out of being here in front of the net. He had a couple of chances earlier that he was unable to find. How about the little area passes here, just getting it back underneath? It's the second chance there by Tavares that was able to get that one past Reimer. A kick out, 2 quick passes, now he's got inside position. Reimer with a great save right there, and then the rebound again off the post and in by Tavares. And that's going to be the end of the night for James Reimer. Wow, your graphic earlier on Reimer with the oddity of playing the Toronto Maple Leafs continues here. What's been a spectacular season for him and how much he's played a big role in the Sharks to start. Ends with 9:16 left in the second period.
5th consecutive appearance against his old team that is an incomplete game. So Austin Matthews scored earlier in the period to tie for the lead, or the team lead in goals with 9. And John Tavares gets that team lead back with the power play goal at 10:44. The Leafs with a pair of second period goals after 2 in the first. And so that's 10 goals in the last 5 periods for Toronto as the offense starts to percolate.
Well, you had to figure it would. They had the chances early in the year. As a team, their shooting presented was dismal, but the chances were still there. And as Reimer sits this one out, his old team, you're right, you could just sense the confidence building, especially in the heels of the game in Los Angeles. But you see how special teams are so critical. The penalty kill does their job, 3 straight kills. You get a power play, you get a real sense of urgency, and you score when you have to try to put the game away.
Jimmick lofts that out to center ice. LeBanc looking for it against Justin Hall, and, Muzzin, offsides call.
The holidays are upon us.
And we have passed the midway mark of the second period. We're going to step aside Goals by Matthews and Tavares in the second. 4-1 Toronto.
Or a Porsche. If you're Brent Burns and you're looking for something a little bit different, we know he's eclectic, well, you go with this beautiful vintage truck. Now, I can't tell you what year or make this is, but maybe the gentlemen in the booth who are a bit of an older vintage could help me out here.
Oh,
I do know it's not an electric vehicle.
Got a little Jed Clampett look.
Well, we know about all the animals he has, so maybe he needs the pickup for pet transportation. Never dull with Brent Burns. Here comes Jacob Middleton, putting it on net, and a rebound. Wall has to make back-to-back stops. Out at center ice, Camp is checked. Cogliano there, and he'll kick it back to Middleton. Scored his first NHL goal into the empty net 2 nights ago. Big thrill for the Stratford product. Almost hurdle along the board. Back to Burns. His shot. Traffic with Gregor parked in front. And Wall able to stop that. And now Tavares center. Onto the right side. Nylander will knife it down into the corner. And along the board, dug out there by Kerfoot. Nice work by Kerfoot. Now fanned on that seam pass. And Barabanov's got it for San Jose. Gregor on the other side, up against Riley, and the veteran Leaf defenseman wins that battle. Couture at the line, and the Sharks are offside with exactly 7 minutes left in the second.
Well, I would think that Bob Buchner, his message to his team is start getting the puck towards the net, make Wall have to become a part of this game. And one of the things you can do is get body in front, and Gregor does a pretty good job, and Wall, with the traffic in front of him, able to find that one. Try to get yourself as close to the body as you can to not allow anything to be tipped by you, and he did a pretty solid job of that there.
Last scoring play, Tavares from Nylander and Marner on the power play. So Tavares and Nylander with a goal and an assist each here tonight. And Tavares with 10 goals and 20 points. High flip looking for Meyer, and that one over the glass and out.
With Netcoins, you can buy and sell cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin easily. We make crypto easy at netcoins.ca.
Well, that was a pass from, let's see, was it inside the blue line?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, and it clears the glass in the Leaf zone. That's a delay of game penalty against Erik Karlsson.
The linesmen and the officials talked about it, and they didn't see it. I mean, it's easy for us on a replay. It's not a reviewable play.
Sheldon Keefe,
but they got it wrong.
Wants to have a discussion with Graham Skilliter about that.
You can see Karlsson sort of sheepishly just going back to the point. This is an argument that you're not going to win. They all huddled in front of the box. Didn't hit anything. Straight out.
Not close to the blue line either.
I mean, that's a penalty. At this point, you can continue arguing all you want. They obviously didn't see it, and that can happen with the speed of this game, but not often that they do.
Excuse me, Craig. I know people don't want too many reviews, but that would be an easy review to make to get it right.
Take 2 seconds, wouldn't it? We just showed it on the replay.
So we'll play on it. Even strength. Burns holds his own, plays it in behind the net, and there's Riley on it. Reversing it to Brody. Marner gives it back, and now the Sharks start a change, which offers up a little more real estate to work it ahead, and Bunting gets it down into the Shark zone. Ferraro up the boards for LeBanc. Bounces past Sandin. Around it comes for Kevin LeBanc on this near side. What a prolific scorer he was in junior. LeBanc with a across, it goes, and that shot high over wall. LeBanc with 234 points in his last 2 years playing with the Barrie Colts. Shimmick moves up. Challenging Sandin. Puck bounces across the front, and LeBanc back to the line for Vlasic. In deep it goes. Big Weatherby, a centering pass picked off by Spezza, and he's out for the Leafs. And bounces it down into the Shark zone. Aiden Hill gives it away. LeBanc gets it back. And the Leafs will regroup out at center ice. Hall will roll it back in with 5 minutes left in the second period. It'll come to Kerfoot, the centering pass. And that's knocked out at the line. It did come out. And the Leafs are going to have to tag here as the Sharks work it ahead, and now the offside is waved. Hurdle up top, tracked there by Hall. Now it's Carlson back to Hurdle. Middleton firing it, and Wall able to hang on to that with Gregor parked in front of the net. Black Friday in San Jose, and right now the Leafs enjoying a 4-1 lead.
Long shift over a minute in the zone, and here's a power play that was a minute 41 after a one draw by John Tavares, that Tavares actually finds the back of the end at the end of it. Those little battles, as he mentioned, the penalty kill a big part with 3 kills, and then the power play 1-for-1 after going 1-for-3 in Los Angeles 2 nights ago.
Both parked in just about the same spot with the same result. There's Engvall. Muzzin. That one deflected in front of the net. Off the stick of Kerfoot. Kerfoot, Kemp, and Engvall this time. Erik Karlsson sends it down wide of the Leaf net. After it hurdled. Justin Hall back there. And the Leafs are out. Muzzin to Engvall and up to Kemp.
See a little defensive line shuffling on that one, wasn't it? Interesting seeing Kerfoot out with that pair.
Now Balcers, and he had his pocket picked by Matthews. Break here for Bunting. Michael Bunting stopped by Aiden Hill. A couple of former Arizona Coyote teammates head-to-head there. They had a little chat in the pregame warm-up. I don't think Bunting expected he'd have that kind of opportunity against Aiden Hill tonight.
Yeah, he just didn't get a clean reception of that pass. A quick pass up by Matthews.
Gonna get another chance here. Matthews across. That one was an intended pass from Marner out of his reach. Timo Meier back the other way. Riley got a stick on that. Sharks are changing. And around it comes for TJ Brodie. Tried to shift gears to get away from Bonino. And it hopped over the stick of Tavares down the ice. An icy call against Toronto.
Well, quick turnover by Matthews coming back defensively. Little quick stick. And that's what creates this chance. No sense for Balcers that he had anyone behind him. But watch the pass. Didn't quite get control of it. Had to go to his right, did Bunting, to get back control. And then by that time he was in so tight. And there's back-to-back chances he's had that he's gone back to see exactly what transpired.
Don't you wish you had video?
That's amazing.
As a player?
I would absolutely love it, Chris. To see how the goaltender reacted. Even though you didn't get a shot, you get a better read and understand the game so much quicker and be able to do something about it the next time.
Nick Bonino, the goal scorer for San Jose. After it, the Leaf zone against Liljegren. Sandin bumped off the puck, but battles there to try and get it back. Maybe Stona Gadjevich, that shot from an angle off wall. Alex Kerfoot's on it. Dipped in by Shimmick. Gadjevich unable to reach that. It's a breakaway. William Nylander home free. And Hill got a piece of that. What a grazed iron too.
Another great play by John Tavares. So just a quick defensive play and then an outlet pass that just sent Nylander in perfectly.
Gadjevich to the line, and that does bounce out. Muzzin quickly back in. Kerfoot knocked down as thought he had a step on Vlasic, who recovered nicely. 100 seconds remaining in the second. Another good second period in California for the Maple Leafs.
Providing competitive odds on all sports, Sports Interaction is Canada's odds maker.
Two examples. We saw Matthews make a great defensive play and spring bunting. Now here you got Tavares gets in, steps up, perfect pass in all alone. Earlier from the angle, we saw Nylander go forehand, backhand. That time tried to out-quick Hill. And as you mentioned, Chris got just enough of it and then off the side of the post and out.
Face-off win by the Leafs. Justin Hall's shot knocked down by Nieto. Handing it off, and here comes Labanc over the line. Fired that right on, an easy blocker stopped by Wall. Spezza strides back, Simmons with him. Spezza inside out, and a shot stopped by Hill. What a vintage rush by the old guy.
Another example, though, the key for Spezza is he's been able to keep his legs. I mean, he just took off. Good job of keeping his feet moving and keeping the puck advancing forward. But a good chance that Hill had to make a tough stop on it.
Now Nieto's in onto the right wing for Labanc. Nieto behind the net. Bumped there by Ritchie, who works it loose along the boards. TJ Brodie will take over. Morgan Riley, his pass cut off, and a awkward-looking stop, but a nice reaction by Wall to keep that out.
Well, confidence is really growing within this Leaf team at all levels. And here's a tough play defensively, good support by Spezza. Now watch, he just keeps his legs moving the entire time. Inside, outside, he's got the defenseman Middleton turned inside out and can't find that short side up and over the shoulder of Hill.
Down to the final half minute here in the second period. Gregor's pass onto the left wing. Barabanov after it. He'll sweep it down into Leaf ice.
It's Semyonov who's been sort of out of a loop here, Chris. So a couple of turnovers, a couple of plays not getting it deep, and it's been Kerfoot who Keith the last two shifts has put in his place.
That went up off the netting. Sheldon Keefe earlier today said he liked Semyonov against Philadelphia, not as much against Buffalo, and was hoping he'd get back to that game he displayed in his Leaf debut against the Flyers.
Well, he showed that play that he didn't get the puck deep and it ended up in the back of the net. And a couple of plays here where he tried to make a move in the neutral zone, and those are things you're just going to learn. And the coach got him back for a few shifts, but here with that lead, I think you just want to get through this period on the long change and not get caught with a mismatch.
Horn sounds to end the period. Goals by the big guys, Matthews and Tavares. They chase James Reimer in the second period and lead 4-1 after 40 minutes of play. Our second intermission coming up.
Solid second period for the Maple Leafs. Matthews and Tavares both scoring. It's 4-1 Maple Leafs after 40 minutes. Elliot Friedman, Anthony Stewart, David Amber. And what do you say about Austin Matthews? He's heating up. He's into the top 16 now in goals scored, a commanding force again tonight.
How many this month, Dave?
8.
In how many games?
13. Heating up.
I didn't think you'd remember. All right, there's one thing on this goal here, the 3-1 goal that really stands out. Just watch him here. Sandin has the puck, and Matthews is directing traffic. Anthony, I think he's telling him to go across ice, which is exactly what happened in scores. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you are. And yeah, go ahead.
Just the intelligence of the ability to direct the play, the quarterback. You know, we know what a great shooter he is. He had an unbelievable strip of the puck to send Bunting in on a breakaway later on in the period. But the overall IQ, I just was impressed with.
Yeah,
that.
and what I like about that goal there is that he's going to the net. And, you know, we know he can score off the rush. He's got different elements. He can tip the puck. But he's so big, and he creates so much separation because he's so big and strong. He just creates that separation in front of the net. So if you want to score 50 in this league, you got to have a couple easy goals.
Yeah. I just think that when he does so many spectacular things, and we all love the shot, but I just think he's doing more and more things that are kind of the small things that turn into big things. He's improving as a player just exponentially almost game by game.
Yeah, the evolution. And you said this on the radio with Jeff Merrick today. You said the evolution of great players, they have to find other elements to their game. Austin Matthews has found another element.
I can't believe you actually listened to me and Jeff on the radio.
It wasn't easy. All right, let's get you back to SAP Center. John Tavares, who leads the Leafs in goals this year, standing by with our Sean McKenzie.
John, that's now 10 goals on the season for you. Just what have you liked the most about what you've been doing offensively as of late?
I think it's just not worrying so much about the results and just playing my game, being responsible in all 3 zones. Just having good rhythm there. And when you do that, you put yourself in good spots. Obviously playing with really good players, got a great power play. So you're going to create those opportunities and my track record and I think my belief in myself, you want to finish those off and be consistent. So just staying with it, whether they're going in or not.
In the last week or so, we've heard a lot from the players on this team about just how much fun this group's having and, on and off the ice. I'm just curious, where is the camaraderie at in the room right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're putting the work in. I think great mindset and attitude, and just to continue day in and day out, having the right approach. And when you're getting the results, getting rewarded for hard work, and obviously we like the type of people, the type of talent we have, the group we have, the depth, all the different elements. We want to keep building this thing, and we're having fun doing it.
Thanks for the time, John.
Thank you.
John Tavares.
Yes, another fun stat, David. He's now top 10 in the National Hockey League in goals with his 10th in the season. But what I like about his game, too, is just his comfortableness around the net. He's not afraid to be in these tough areas here, and just his patience with the puck. And now we're talking about Olympic team rosters. I know there's a lot of mock rosters with him not on it, but when you can score these goals, these are the goals that are Olympic gold winning goals, or these are goals that you need to score in the playoffs. So it's a great job by him showing that leadership and that willingness to go to the net. And I'm just impressed by how he just gets to those dirty areas, scoring those greasy goals.
Yeah, I think I've heard you promote 36 different players for the Olympic
Everybody's
team
making it. I'm coming out. I'm making it too.
John Tavares, he does lead the team in goals and points. It's been a great comeback, especially after the way the last season ended for him. We have a post-Thanksgiving feast of highlights rolling away, including a wild one in Boston. What got the Breadman so upset? It's all coming up. Keep it locked here. Leafs 4-1 after 2. Ryan Hartman bangs in the rebound. 3-0 Minnesota, just like that. And they weren't done there. Just moments later, Matt Zuccarello from Kaprizov. And that would be it for Connor Hellebuyck. 4 goals on 14 shots. 7-1. They convert the touchdown. Jets 5 straight losses. My goodness. They've only scored 5 goals in those games. Speaking of goals, Panthers and Capitals, the Great 8. That's his second of the game. 3-1. The Caps are on top. Pretty excited.
Rejoice.
Well, he wasn't done there. Get out the hats, the chapeaus, because it's a hat trick for the Great 8. Ovechkin up to 748. My goodness. Won't stop, can't stop. Rangers and Bruins. This was a wild one. 2-2 in the third. A matinee. Chris Kreider tries the Michigan play. Look how close this is. This is wild. He thought it was in. They thought it was in. But look, right across the goal line off the crossbar. That was beautiful. Didn't count. Later in the frame, Julien Gauthier controls the pass with his skate, finds the Breadman, Artemi Panarin. Rangers had overcome 2 one-goal deficits. That's their first lead of the game. That was nice.
The tip was incredible, too.
Beautiful. And then at the end of the game, Brad Marchand. Panarin's had enough. Here, take my equipment.
Better than throwing your helmet.
Stu, you ever throw a glove?
Nope.
5-2.
Just dropped them.
I've dropped them.
Yeah, Shesterkin with the win there. Avs and Stars. Just a minute into the game, John Klingberg to Jason Robertson to Joe Pavelski. Little Joe, his 6th 1-0 Stars. He wasn't done there. That was $3.99. I think you know what's coming next. What comes after $3.99? Rope hints to Pavelski. There it is.
Olympics there, Elliot?
Team USA is pretty deep up front.
Center, though.
Sign them up.
That's the one thing. They might need centers.
3-1 Stars. Wow, they are rolling. They beat the Avs. Sens and Ducks. The Sens are not rolling. Troy Terry's rolling, though. This is his 13th on the backhand. That's a beauty. Beats Forsberg. Ooh, that's nice, eh? And tight. And then Ricard Raquel from Milan to Minsk. That's it done. 4-0, the Ducks win. Sens have lost 10 of 11. And Elliot, a little bit of news following this loss. What's that?
Well, tomorrow afternoon, the waivers is at 2 Eastern, and tomorrow afternoon, the Ottawa Senators are going to put Matt Murray on waivers. They informed him today that they were planning on doing it. Now, there's a lot of hard feelings here. Murray, I think, is upset about it. The Senators are upset about the way he has played. I don't think we've heard the last of this, and we'll see where it goes from here. We'll see if this leads to more maybe potential trade talks if he's not claimed, but it's a lot of hard feelings in this situation, but the Senators have informed him that he's going on waivers tomorrow afternoon.
And for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out in Ottawa, and he's a capable goalie. He's won 30 games in this league here, and let's just hope that he goes down to the minors or to another team and finds his game.
A 4-year, $25 million deal, has not won in 6 starts so far this year. It's been a real struggle for the Ottawa Senators. We'll see what happens there. Meanwhile, all of us here at Sportsnet, we're sending our best out to Sharks GM Doug Wilson, the newly minted Hall of Famer Doug Wilson, who today announced he's taking a leave of absence for medical reasons. So obviously health always comes first in these situations, and we wish him nothing but the best as he takes some time off to make sure he's okay. Third period's around the corner. The Leafs with a healthy 4-1 lead as they look to go back-to-back wins in the Golden State. We got the golden voice of Chris Cuthbert, Craig Simpson, Sean McKenzie coming your way next, right here on Sportsnet.
Period, the Leafs with a 4-1 lead. The Fab Four has had a big night, and an interesting race developing among the league team leaders in points.
Yeah, it's good, healthy competition. You would expect these 4 players to be at the forefront offensively. You know, there was an earlier stretch where they had scored 16 straight, and you just kind of felt like the rest of the team wasn't coming along and wasn't in sync. I don't think that's the case right now, though. You know, those numbers are going to be expected as you go throughout the rest of this season. It'll be a bit of a jockeying to see who ends up at the top there. But I think for Sheldon Keefe, it's the depth throughout the lineup, the contributions. You look at last game, Engvall gets his first goal in 20 games, Spezza his first in 15. That's what you need to keep a roll like this going on, is contributions all the way down.
And he'll be as excited that Wayne Simmons scored tonight.
Absolutely.
As the other 3.
It's another third period with just 1 goal against. And I think that's really the biggest testament to the way that this team's been playing. He's been preaching, you know, the decisions you make when you lose the puck, especially for the forwards, is the most important. He said they're really starting to get it. The forwards are making good decisions. They're on the defensive side, and it's been the goals against that have been the most impressive during this offensive time in the last few.
Tavares, Nylander, and Kerfoot start. The goal by Nylander, his first career goal against San Jose. Barabanov sends it down on Joseph Woll, and he's going to eat that to get an early face-off in the Toronto zone.
And I think this is a really important point by Keefe to put Woll back in here again. The way that Jack Campbell's going, it would have been easy to keep rolling on with him. You got a shutout in the first game of the road trip, so you earn the right to come back here 2 games later. And Woll allowed that first one in on Bonino, but he's been solid when he's had to. He's fought through traffic in front, and this is another really important building block for the young goaltender as well.
5 goals allowed on 67 shots. And this is third NHL start. Barabanov's in. Look at the center. Woll's going to pounce on that.
Well, we all saw the celebration at the start when he got his shutout in the New York Islanders building. But the one thing that you want to feel as a young teammate coming in, you know, you step back and you defer to the veterans, you defer to Campbell, but you want to belong. You want to feel like you're contributing. And I think that everybody on that Leaf bench now has a sense that, hey, he can play. He works hard in practice, and now here's his opportunity to continue producing during the game.
Valuable to give Jack Campbell some time off. Campbell got a day away from the rink yesterday. Doesn't play, and likely starting against Anaheim. Here's Brent Burns off the goal post, the inside of the post, and out the other way. Close call there for the Sharks. Trying to get one to energize their team. A deflection here that goes out of play, but a fast start in the opening 65 seconds for the home side.
Well, you saw in the second period the Sharks really trying to get to the front of the net, and here's another example. Win the battle down low. Look at the 2 bodies right to the front, and that one I don't think Woll ever saw it at all. His reaction, look at the body in front, great screen there, and he went to peek around to his right, and that one went sliding off the post and out. Good little quick wrister from Brent Burns.
Sharks' best period this season has been the third. They've scored 23rd period goals. The Leafs' best period's been the third, outscoring their opponents 23-16. Here's Engvall. Riley right on. Aiden Hill the stop. And that one sent up and out of play.
Another great read, though, defensively. You know, you're so focused, okay, protect down low. But once you turn the puck over here, you've got Carlson, the defenseman, caught. So that gives an opportunity for Morgan Riley to jump up and join the rush. And there's a good early save there for Hill, who hasn't been all that busy. Riley tried to go up and over the glove, unable to get it past the San Jose netminder.
It's been a tough building for the Leafs. 1 win in their last 7 visits, 2 in their last 11. Looking for their 15th victory of the season, which would match a league high as that one flipped into the bench, and I think somebody just saved Sheldon Keefe.
I think Pierre Engvall just made a big save, and he got a slap on the back from his head coach, kind of laughing about it.
That'll be an extra shift out there.
You take one for the team, and you take it when that one's going to hit the head coach.
Dimmick pounds that into the Leaf zone. DJ Brody around looking for Ritchie on this near side. Able to move that puck to Kemp. Up ahead, Simmons trying to slot it in, and it's played back inside the Leaf line.
Chris, even that little play there by Ritchie is such a big play when the puck's coming around and you're getting under pressure. The D are pinching down. He makes a good play, gets the puck out, and gets a change. Those are the little things that you try to establish within your game.
Oh, look out. Joseph Wall trying to sweep that away. LeBanc right on. And Weatherby was on top of Wall, who was slow to get up after that. Might have been one he would have preferred just to have held on to.
Well, he's already taken a penalty and shooting one over the boards, and in his 3 games, that has been a bit of a problem with him. He doesn't seem really sure of where he's handling the puck.
Whoa! Willigren band on that, nearly gave it to LeBanc. Rasmus Sandin ahead for the Leafs, flipping it inside the line. Played right back out by Burns. Bounced in on Aiden Hill in relief of James Reimer here tonight. Gregor pumped by Muzzin. Nylander took it away. Hall ahead, and that one out at center where Tavares finds it. Sends it in deep, and the 288s give chase. After Timo Meier, he's knocked down by Kerfoot. There's Justin Hall, who gave a rave review for the turkey dinner the Leafs had yesterday as a team. And he said, I'm not big on turkey dinners, but apparently the Brussels sprouts put it over the top. Puck at the line, Marner unable to hold the zone, but able to tie up his man, and Bunting intercepts. Right back in. Michael Bunting overskates the puck, and it's sent ahead, and here comes Timo Meier. And that shot up onto the netting. Just shy of the 4-minute mark of the 3rd period. We never had Brussels sprouts last night.
No, we didn't. We didn't even have a turkey dinner. So there's a good look at his focus as Joseph Wall just settled himself down. A couple little miscues, a couple of bounce passes, but you're in the 3rd period of your 3rd game in the National Hockey League. You got a 3-goal lead. Just continue to focus on the next shift, and what a great start this has been for the youngster.
Sheldon Keefe talks about earning confidence, and Joseph Wall is earning the confidence of his coach
and his players.
And
that's the big thing. You look at how you feel about your teammate, and that's really been at the forefront with this Leaf team, even on this road trip, as we've talked a few times.
Carlson shot wide. That one fired by Middleton. The Leafs up with it. Campside sets a check, moves the puck, and Engvall works it ahead. Simmons goes after that, but it's going to be an icing call against Toronto. Canada's men's basketball team kick off their World Cup qualifying against the Bahamas. Tune in Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now.
Face-offs become important again. In the first period, it was all Sharks. Toronto was 35%. After the second, they were at 61, and there's another big win after an icing.
Ball ahead, Simmons takes a look and works it down into the Shark zone. Heads to the bench to start a change. Tomas Hertl ahead, and here is Gregor, who's had chances tonight. Onto the left side, Barabanov, but Wall will redirect that into the corner. Sandin's got time. And lofts that out to center ice. Mario Ferraro's there. Former Toronto Patriot. And it's played back into the Leaf zone. 5 minutes into the third. Sandin with a stretch, but into the oncoming traffic on the change as Weatherby stepped in front of that. Now LeBlanc, touch pass for Nieto, disrupted by Spezza. Kevin LeBlanc will wind it back up. Onto the right wing for Long Beach, California native Matt Nieto. There's Justin Hall. Up ahead for Ritchie. And now it's Semyonov getting it back down into Shark territory.
Semyonov only had 2 shifts in that second period, and here he gets a nice 2 shifts early on to Sheldon Keefe in the third period, give him an opportunity to get back and play a little bit.
And a nice San Jose, so the Leafs get an offensive zone face-off.
This period brought to you by the Toyota Corolla family. Hatchback, sedan, and hybrid.
So John Tavares on this draw for the Leafs with Nylander and Kerfoot, and Nylander's got it. Up high, it's a shot wide. Ricochet off the inboards. Kerfoot bodied there by Schimmick. Kerfoot stays on the puck. Now it's Tavares. Dug loose and comes out in front. Big shot. Kicked away, and Tavares unable to reach that rebound after TJ Brody let it fly. Had some heat on that. Now LeBlanc, and that's turned away by Joseph Wall. Ahead for Kerfoot off his back heel. Tavares moved up. Kerfoot hits back on a change. And here's Meyer flying in off wing, and a good blocker stop by Wall on that.
A crazy bounce out of the corner. It hit the camera and came back, but a good read there defensively to pick it up.
Here comes Couture centering it off the skates of Riley, and Austin Matthews plays it back to 44. Now Marner, an assist in the game. He'll flip it down and chase after it. And Burns trying to move it away from Marner. And it's sent to the Leaf line where Rasmus Sandin will take over. Of Sandin's reaction to his 3-assist game. He said, I really didn't do much except miss the net on a great chance. But his first 3-point game nonetheless against the LA Kings. Icing against San Jose.
Well, for Bob Boughner, his team hasn't been able to put 3 wins together since the first 4 games of the season. They had a really good, solid start. And now, though, they rallied in a game against Ottawa that he felt they didn't start very well. They got down 3-2, but battled hard. And the task here, down 4-1, is going to be a much more difficult one against a much better team.
Sharks have 10 wins on the year, 7 against Canadian opponents. Came into this game 7-2 against Canada, including that 5-3 win at Scotiabank Arena. Well, they won the first 4, and then they had COVID issues. But it's a different-looking San Jose team. 8 rookies already playing their first NHL games this season for the Sharks. Morgan Riley ahead. Engvall deflects it deep. Aiden Hill out of the net. Engvall unable to knock that down. Gregor sends it to center. Engvall's on it again, and Spezza finds Brody. The Leafs will buy some time to complete a change.
This is another example of just the puck possession mentality. Many teams would just dump that in and try to get a change. Instead, you go back to your D, give yourself a time to get the change differently.
Nylander flying in and got a shot on Hill. And he'll hold on to that. 8:36 gone in the third. Still a 3-goal Leaf lead.
Exactly why, but there is a long list of reasons and moments that could have injured him because, well, he plays a little reckless. It was Wayne Simmons just the other day that described him as a kamikaze out there, running, gunning, running into things. Kase was asked if anyone's ever told him to calm his play down and maybe not play so recklessly. He thought about it for a minute and said, yeah, my mom, with a big laugh, but he says he's not changing anytime soon, guys.
Yeah, he's been great, and the good news is that he worked out this morning, was in the meetings.
I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing, more give him a chance to get a little healthier and an opportunity for others to play.
You know, he'd love to play on Sunday against his old team in Anaheim. Turtle sends it back. Carlson returns it across. Middleton shot. Big bounce off the blocker of Wall, and the Leafs are out. Nylander calls for it, wants it, and a good stick there by Middleton because it looked like Nylander had a step. He's been flying all night. Here's Kerfoot, and a glove stop by Eden Hill.
Well, that was a great play defensively for Joseph Wall on the one chance. He put the rebound way out so you could get the offense going the other way. There's got traffic, uses his blocker to get it past where the Sharks were. That creates an odd man rush. And it almost paid off with a great chance as Nylander was very close to getting there, but then the turnover created the second chance that Kerfoot unable to get it past Hill.
Approaching the midway mark of this third period. Leafs trying to win 6 consecutive games on the road for the first time since the opening 6 road games of the 18-19 season. Here's Marner with Bunting. It's Marner trying to work his way in, and that's a good defensive play by Ferraro. Sent down the ice by Balcers. Meyer on the far side, unable to reach that, and Matthews is out with Bunting, and Riley has moved up as well. Michael Bunting to the net, and Hill got a piece of that with Matthews looking for a tip in front. Now Simmons is on the ice. Big Muzzin plays it behind the goal. Matthews centers, Bunting a shot, and the rebound past Simmons. Hall moves up, Ferraro intercepts and takes over for the Sharks. Up into the traffic on the change, which hit a San Jose Shark, and play is halted. And we pass the midway mark of the third. And we'll step aside. The Leafs continue to lead by 3. Veterans with over 3,000 games of experience, and 3 other guys just over 300.
They're such a big part of their offense, though, too. They're one of only 3 teams, Anaheim, Edmonton, and San Jose, with 3 defensemen with 10 or more points. And you expect that from Burns and Carlson, but Mario Ferraro is playing a pretty significant role for him as well as he continues to grow as a good young defender.
42 points from the blue line. They're tied for 12th in the league. The Leafs with 31 points coming into tonight's game. David Camp, nice move, but he hustles down into the Shark zone, turns it back to the line. Ball for Spezza up high, deflecting into the corner. Ritchie after it, but Schimmick got there first. And played back out to center ice with 9 to go in the third. Five straight games, the Leafs have allowed 2 or fewer, 7 of the last 8 coming in. One of the reasons they are the 3rd best defensive team in the NHL right now. And trying to showcase that here, protecting the lead. Engvall draws the penalty. And now the Leafs get a power play to enhance the lead with 8:34 remaining.
It's the look on Bob Boughner's face. His team's reaching. They're behind, a step behind, and we saw this as the game went along in Los Angeles too. The Leafs just got the pace of the game up, so now you're chasing. Good quick puck support, and once you start reaching like that as a defender, you're behind the offensive player. You're going to get called every time.
Well, that Leaf power play looked good on its only opportunity. 4 shots and a power play goal, right back to work. They're now 15 for 60 on the year at 25%. Matthews, Riley shooting, rebound, loose in front. Matthews a backhand, and that was broken up and cleared.
Great play by Aiden Hill. He was tracking Matthews as he saw him jumping to find the loose puck and was able to slide across to his left and get down and take away a good scoring chance for Matthews.
Talked about being more downhill to the net, and they're swarming the net so far tonight with a man advantage. Back in they come. Nylander around to the far side for Tavares, and jumped on him, and Nieto's out. And here comes Bonino, short-handed, shot it wide. Erik Karlsson plays it back into the Shark zone, so Nick Bonino, the goal scorer tonight, gets an opportunity short-handed, and that would have been a big boost for the home team.
One goal at this stage just changes things pretty dramatically, especially the shorthander.
Now the second unit gets out, and that's turned over, and back the other way comes Couture. And Couture stumbles, trying to stay on the puck and put it in front. And now Ritchie ahead for Bunting. Spets on the move. Here's Spets across, that hit Bunting in the skeet. And Couture has the puck again. Works his way in, trying to connect there with Ferraro, who jumped up. And Sandin takes over. Late stages of the power play. Spezza moves back in. Ritchie follows up. Spezza got it back. A pass to the point picked off, and it's Hertl. Along with Balcers over the line. Penalty done. 2 shots. The Leafs 1 for 2 on the night. Here comes Kerfoot. Drops it in, goes after it, against Vlasic, comes to the side of the net. Picked up there by Simmons, he's checked by Karlsson. Erik Karlsson out. Matt Nieto through center. And now over the line, it's Weatherby, back to Vlasic, and that one deflected en route. And Hall able to track that. Wayne Simmons. Pass across, does not connect to Kerfoot with under 6 minutes remaining. Leafs with the best record in November. There's a chance on the inboards in front. Oh, Hall came across. How did that not go in? Off Logan Couture. Hall's best stop of the night. Now Nylander dashing in front, and it popped over the stick of Semyonov. Logan Couture robbed by Joseph Woll. Here comes Meyer, kicked away by Woll. His best sequence of the night, and he stops Karlsson in tight. 3 in a row for Woll. And Balcers overskates that. Semyonov, late in the shift from long range, fires that down. Nylander on the other side. Oh, he just stand on that. Here comes San Jose again. Woll again. Burns. And Woll's got that. And the Leafs clear. 5 stops in under a minute for Joseph Woll.
Well, would you say 5 of the best stops of his young career? Unbelievable.
Burns in front. Let's energize the building here. Gregor can't get it through. Leafs went to sleep, and the Sharks unable to take advantage. Now Engvall overskates the puck. And it's played back in by Barabanov and Gregor. Engvall and now Muzzin. And he'll roll it down and try and put out this fire that the Sharks have started here in the late stages.
You talk about making saves that will endear yourself to your teammates. A few mistakes by the Leafs in front of them, and Wall just totally bailed them out, and some great athleticism going side to side and making some acrobatic saves. Unreal.
Shots now 33-31 San Jose. Wall's made 32 stops tonight, so that's a new career best for him. Middleton ahead, off the stick of Cogliano in deep. After it is the former Whitby Wildcat catch of it. But it's Simmons able to stride out for the Leafs and flip it down for Ritchie. Under 3.5 to go. Nick Ritchie trying to keep it down at that end of the ice. Along with Kemp. TJ Brody's got it. Across for Riley to the net, and that is fronted by Middleton.
Boy, I hope Mom and Dad didn't go to bed. He just kept watching a 4-1 game
No
late.
chance.
No chance. What an amazing stretch for him.
Bob Shelley's holding that puck that he got for the win in Buffalo to start his career, and hoping this is win number 3 as Spezza dashes back, and Aiden Hill stopped that, but a nice move by Spezza. Spezza up with it again. Back to Brody. Around it comes for Semyonov. Tried to feed the point. Cut off there by Couture. Gimmick to the left side for Meyer. Brody over there to deny the pass. And Nylander flips it away. Leafs changing again. Carlson buys some time for a San Jose change. Carlson and Burns both out there now. Looking for offense. And Burns unable to center that. From the corner, played back for Hurdle. Hurdle can't get to the slot. Off the boards, but not out. Burns has it blocked by Tavares. Burns trying to keep it in again. Barabanov. And there is Liljegren intercepting and now sending it away. Engvall. Engvall, nice move. And fires right on. And Aiden Hill has to hold on to that. The major part of the game brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, parts that make the difference. That's Napa know-how.
You know, there's times when pictures can say more than words, and how about that? Drop the stick, hit the leg across, another save in traffic. The onslaught's coming, but Wall able to shut the door. Another great save off of this one. Just comes out, telegraphs, takes away the angle, and that's about the best 5-save sequence that he'll have in his young career. Wow, what a great effort to stay with the puck and make those saves.
Now stopped 52 of the last 53 on a night where that first goal looked like it might have gotten into his head, but it certainly didn't.
You know, a good young lesson. It's one that got by him. He wasn't too happy about it. Looked a little bit shaky on a couple early, but boy, he's settled right in there, and we've seen him focusing after every whistle, and he was razor focused on that one.
Middleton back behind his own net. The 2-game win streak of the Sharks is just over a minute away from coming to a close.
1 minute left to play.
Nick Bonino into the zone, and Wall's going to make another stop and hold on.
Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. Our beer. Hockey's beer.
Last Leaf goaltender to win his first 3 starts. Damian Rhodes back in the early 90s. Won his first 6 as a Maple Leaf. And Wall gloves that down and holds on as he's been in the spotlight here in the last 5 minutes after a relatively quiet night.
Yeah, the shots really just started to pile up, didn't it? It looked like it was going to be a sort of easy ending to this game. Instead, he's done his best work late.
Another icing, another face-off in the Leaf zone, but really helps solve an issue for Sheldon Keefe and the Leafs. And As long as Joseph Wall's playing like this, they don't have to overtax Jack Campbell.
No, and I think that's why this was a really important start, and I think a really smart play by Sheldon Keefe to give him this game and get that test.
And wide of the net, a jam at the side of the goal, but Wall was there to cover the post. And Camp flips out to center. Nick Ritchie there for the Leafs. Ritchie playing it towards Simmons. And now the final couple dozen seconds for Toronto. It's going to be a 6th consecutive game. A road win, 6 consecutive, and now 8 of 9. 2 goals are under. Countdown on, and they're 2 for 2 in California. And the Leafs have now gone 11-2 in November. They've won 13 of 15 and 6 consecutive on the road. And now time for the Molson Canadian 3 stars of the game. William Nylander got them off and running early tonight with a goal at the 32-second mark. 7 shots on goal and 2 points. Joseph Wall with 34 saves. Brilliant late. John Tavares, another multi-point game. So the Leafs move on to Anaheim in 2 nights after a 4-1 win here. We'll step aside. David Amber on the other side with more.